place is crawling with insurgents. I need to clear them out. I've cleared the way to your hut, Container 99, but...
Thank you. Please wait for me there.
Notes. Interesting. What happened here? Whose graves are those?
Sarah, Elodie, Michelle. It wasn't their fault. I was picked as a community leader to distribute food. I admit I kept some for ourselves, for my girls. Was I supposed to watch them starve? I traded for favors. Seemed harmless enough. I only took food, but they took everything from me.
Oh. But you told me you had...
Nothing of value here for me but my memories. Take it all. Then go, please. I'll stay here a little longer.
Yeah, not much to say in this video. I'm going to have some more tips and things I'm seeing myself doing, for instance, in the next video, which will be the end of the third zone. I will say this, so I didn't die on this zone. The zone you do to complete the crafting, or to unlock crafting, the last one, where you fight a boss right before, a captain rather, and a bunch of breachers and melee dudes and riflemen right before you unlock crafting. I died 3 times there. I'm not proud to admit it. I'm going to admit it every time I say it, because it's like, the first time I did this on a pyro, of course the one I didn't record, I remember I only died once, I think, in the first zone. I say zone, I mean like the first level in the campaign. I think I died towards the end of that one, because again, that's when it starts to get a lot harder, is towards the end of that one when you're doing this challenge, because you've already unlocked like World Tier 4 to even, in my case, I got to World Tier 5 already. So it's hard, really hard, even more without crafting, to maintain your strength as a character. No matter if you know what you're doing and what build you're going for, it's just so hard. I mean, at that point, riflemen are just skewering you. So I was definitely using cover some. And yeah, I died once here too on that zone. But yeah, this one, and I knew it. I knew the zone right before you do crafting was going to be so annoying. Because again, at this point, I am at world tier, I think, 6. And I mean, at that point, that's when enemies are really starting to hit hard, is the middle of the tiers. And being that high already, in just the beginning of the second zone, that's still the early part of the campaign, and of course super early for the game itself, but yeah, the early part of even the campaign, and already playing at that tier, yeah, you're taking a beating. So I had to but the thing is, in order to stay alive, you also have to play aggressively too. That's the only way. You can't really fall behind and try and use cover a lot, because enemies are just laser focused, and there's so many melee based enemies and close range shotgun based enemies that just chase you down no matter what. So thinking you can do that like you're in Division, for instance, no, that ain't happening in Outriders. The cover is always that thing that you kind of just use very early in the game, and then you never go back to it on any build again, period, pretty much. Even if you go for a DPS build, even a gun based DPS build, you're not going to be using cover in Outriders in the end game. Like, no one uses cover in the end game. But yeah, in the early game, especially doing this challenge, I'm noticing, yeah, I have to use cover a little bit. You know, I just use it for brief respites, if anything. It's just, I have to time it when I'm just charging around, killing enemies here and there, but taking boatloads of damage, to also just momentarily pop in and out of cover, to just stop taking damage momentarily while I wait for like a skill to recharge, basically. That's how I use it strategically, is like using it a little bit here and there just to give myself a few seconds for another skill to be ready. Because that's the other, like, your skills are especially Feed the Flames on this guy, is what's keeping you alive. But yeah, I got a little annoyed, a little salty, I'll admit, when I died 3 times in a row on that zone. But I overcame it, of course. And of course, once I realized, again, how to play, or that's why I'm saying what I ended up having to do is like, okay, I got to strategically use cover a little bit. I got to charge in, but then also it's like hidden. You have to play like hit and run. Like I charge in, do my damage, use my skills, shoot my shotgun in their face as quickly as I can, and then I'm out of there. I'm out of there, you know, just spamming dodge, using cover here and there while I try and get Feed the Flames to latch onto someone else and heal me back up to full again. And then I do right, and I just rinse and repeat. And that's what I had to do to beat that. Now, I'm pleased to say it wasn't as bad here, although you could say it was still, I still got close to death here too. And you'll see in the next zones, like the next videos, like I'm better now. But it's still difficult in the sense that until I get damage absorber, basically, until I get more resources to keep my stuff leveled up, get a combination of that, and get the tier 2 damage absorber mod, until I get both of those ready, then it's just going to be difficult. The early this part of the game is, on this challenge, is actually the hardest part. Is like the first like 2 or 3 like or checkpoints or zone, whatever. 2 or 3 levels of the campaign is actually the hardest part when trying to do this. But once you know, but if you know what you're doing, if you know what you're building for and what you plan to do, well, believe me, it only gets easier, actually. Like, I'm not worried at all about Yaguk. Like, the end game campaign, the campaign boss at the end that everyone hates, I'm not worried about him at all, on the max difficulty, too. Like, this guy's going to easily get through him. It's just building him up. It's so hard because it's still, like, this tier is really hard at this stage in the game, but it's also still low enough that I'm not getting that best of loot either, so... And also I've noticed the RNG has not been in my favor this time. I think that's also another reason, because again, it's still partially RNG based too. Like whatever build you're going for, you also have to hope that the RNG for your loot while you're going through the campaign is in your favor too. And so far it really hasn't been. I haven't been able to use like max health pieces as much on this guy. I'm finding all these annoying firepower and anomaly power ones. I'm like, I don't want that. That's not going to help. I already know, I've used it. It doesn't increase my damage nearly enough to compensate for me dying almost immediately. Like, it doesn't. Again, I said it before, like, if you're going to do this challenge, then in the early game, you do want to build any class as a tank, pretty much. If you want to be able to solo do this with relative ease, not dying constantly at least. I just said I died 3 times. But yeah, it was just in that one zone. I mean, I still haven't really, it's not like I'm dying constantly. And believe me, I'm pretty sure, I'm still willing to bet I may not die again, now that I'm starting to get improvements in the next videos, you'll see. And also, once I finally am able to get my build and able to get damage absorber, I know I'm going to be good at that point. I know, like, for the most part, there'll be a little hiccups of challenges here and there, but overall, most missions I'll be a walk in the park at that point. Yeah, you'll see that. But anyway, just giving an update. I didn't want to make this video too long, but the next one I will give some tips, and also because you'll see that I'm substantially different at that point. Like the next video is when you'll see I'm finally able to maintain a level. I have a level up build basically at that point. I call it a level up build because it's not like it's your in-game build. It's not like you're not going to still be swapping pieces constantly. But it's to the point in the game where it's like, okay, you have the right mods, you have the right ideas, you're equipping the right mods every time you equip the right gear that you loot, that sort of system, basically. But yeah, you'll